Hi guys, today is the 26th of June 2019 at 53 minutes past 12 in the afternoon over here in the UK, and I wanted to quickly go through this part here because I think it might be coming up soon if the interpretation pans out. So we have the spinning momentum, that's the hurricane. We have the dip in the arms, which appears to be associated with some sort of impact in association with water. So you can see that the raising up of the arms suggests something going in, and then the waves rising up. Following after that, the hand motion across is the tsunami. And then we have that reference to something going over, which has something which may, you know, connect with a missile launch. Now, in the background, in this scene here, we seem to have particular emphasis on the shark, which I think represents the submarine. And at the point before he goes into that sequence, he points up at this missile here. My interpretation for that is Donald Trump is going to be at the G20 in Japan. I think he's leaving today around 1 o'clock. The G20 is taking place on the 28th and 29th, I believe. That motion where he does the head spinning around part, which has some connection with some sort of swirling pattern, either a hurricane, a tornado, there's many different ones, cyclone, typhoon, for example. The reason I say that is because I'm about to talk about it. As I say, Donald Trump is going to the G20 with all these world leaders, and that's going to be taking place around the 28th, 29th. There is a tropical cyclone which is predicted to turn into a typhoon as it approaches Japan, and it says specifically here, Osaka, where Japan will host the group of G20 summit meetings on Friday and Saturday, is likely to be hit by strong rain and wind between Thursday night and Friday morning, possibly affecting flights and other transport. And it's possible that's what we're seeing here with the Donald Trump character represented by George Bush in this animation, doing this swirling pattern, which may indicate the typhoon approaching. Now, the reason I have this theory is because North Korea have recently said that they're ready to pull the trigger in self-defense. North Korea has lashed out at the United States for insisting it would maintain sanctions on the country until it is fully denuclearized. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said on Sunday that more than 80% of North Korean economy is sanctioned, and that is important for everyone to remember. He stressed that sanctions are needed to achieve the objectives. North Korea's foreign ministry said in a statement on Wednesday that the wild dream of the US to bring the North Koreans to their knees by means of sanctions and pressure has not changed at all, but grows even more undisguised. The spokesperson added that Pyongyang will not hesitate to pull a muscle-flexing trigger in self-defense if anyone dares to trample over its sovereignty. Now, the news prior to that was that North Korea was still continuing to work on its submersible barge, i.e. its submarine. Satellite imagery taken by the Group 38 North showed movement of equipment and parts, which suggests improvements still being made to the submarine, and also a section which looked like it could be used for a test launch of an Slbm, which is a submarine-launched ballistic missile. Now, putting all of that together, the hurricane, the North Koreans still working on their submarine, the possibility of a test coming to flex those muscles, as they said. An opportune time may be while Donald Trump is in Japan. Obviously, Japan is not that far from North Korea, which again may connect with this video in terms of the part where we see the George Bush Donald Trump character viewing something going over him. And we know that North Korea has launched missiles over Japan many times. And then we change into Obama. Now, I'm not sure, but back here in the shark, I know we've got the pound coin symbol, but we've also, if you take away the I and leave that separate, you're just left with the outline of a J. Now, we've got June and we've got July. June is about to come to an end, July about to start. In after the J here, if that is a J sideways, you've got the number 2 in the mouth here. Now, that could be J2 in terms of July 2nd. We do have a huge watch date on that. But there's also a possibility of it being a 2 with a series of sevens in the teeth, which would be 27. That could be the 27th of June, which is tomorrow, or it could be the 27th of July, which is also another watch date I have. There's also the other possibility that the teeth aren't sevens, or they're not supposed to represent the number 7, even though they look like sideways sevens. They could actually represent the number 8, as there is 8 teeth there. So J28 could be June 28th or July 28th. Not exactly sure, but considering the fact that the G20 summit is going on right now, will be going on the 28th and 29th. Donald Trump will be over there from today, the 26th, over through to the 29th, I believe, until the G20 ends. There's a lot of possible correlating events there that could indicate some form of missile launch or submarine launch ballistic missile from North Korea while Donald Trump is at the G20. And then obviously I've got the interpretation from yesterday in association with the Democratic national debates, the possibility of a shooting taking place there. There's also the possibility it could be another school shooting. That one, obviously there's been many school shootings, so it wouldn't be too far-fetched to suggest that there may be another school shooting today or tomorrow, perhaps taking place in Florida where this classroom is situated. And again, 26th, 27th, looking for that power outage, may be associated with just Texas at this point, and then later on an EMP for New York, or possibly somewhere else. Again, we're located in Florida in this classroom, so it may be a power outage with Florida. Just going back, it would seem a little bit, as I say, unbelievable, but we know that in this scene just here, the Bush-Donald Trump character is pointing towards Florida while also pointing at the submarine. If the submarine has anything to do with North Korea launching their missiles, then I don't see how that really connects to Florida, unless they somehow manage to get their submarine over there. More than likely, that submarine and that connection with Florida would be associated with the Russian submarines and the Poseidon. So multiple different layers here. But just to be clear, the main reason I'm making this video is to give a warning for today up to the 29th. Looking out for this typhoon hitting Japan while Donald Trump and the G20 leaders are there, possibly being connected with the swirling motions we see him do in this video. And then there may be some form of missile launch from North Korea. That could enter into the Pacific Ocean. If it was to cause a tsunami, it would have to be a nuclear device, which, just judging from the news and the rhetoric between the countries at the moment, it doesn't seem as if something like that would suddenly happen. Obviously, there's other actors, China, Russia, and Iran, also, which could be responsible for that or could be blamed for that. Obviously, this is all 9/11 false flags and conspiracies, so we're dealing with people that are hell-bent on making these things come to pass, regardless of whether it means attacking their own people. So, yeah. You guys, that's my warning, my little update there. Have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and may the Heavenly Father bless you.